Ladies and gentlemen, from the Microsoft Theater here in downtown Los Angeles, brought to you by Shawn Porter Promotions.
We're live from Blue Wire Studios inside of the beautiful Wynn Hotel and Casino in wonderful Las Vegas, Nevada. How long you been in Nevada?
So I've been here about, let's see, I'm going to say 5 years now.
All right.
How long
you been in Nevada?
About the same, about 5 years.
Okay, I've been here for about 25, 26 years.
Okay.
Holding it down.
That's right.
Shawn Porter's not in studio, but he's on Zoom right now. Where you at, Shawn?
I'm in Colorado Springs.
Okay, what you doing? What you doing now? That's a real question.
Well, first of all, what took so long to get to me?
Hey, introduce your guest first. That's what I was raised on.
Oh, you right. He's
That's
showing
what I
home
was
training.
raised on.
Home training.
No, that ain't it.
Oh, you want to go first?
Yeah, you said what you said, and you introduced me. You don't introduce them.
Okay. Also, so we're joined by Shane Mosley Jr. He's also in studio. And then we got the amazing, wonderful, great champ, two-time, baby.
Showtime,
One,
baby.
Two-time world champ, Showtime, Shawn Porter.
Yeah.
Oh, I really splashed some water.
And listen, hey, you better stop. This stuff costs way too much money to be splashing
splashed some water.
He did it.
Oh, man. But, yeah, we're joined
Not
by
me.
Shawn Porter. So you're in the studio today, but you here.
I'm in Colorado Springs, working on something that I've been diligently pursuing for about less than a year, probably closer to about 8 months, 8 to 10 months I've been pursuing this. Amateur boxing champions. I know I've made a few announcements on the podcast, and people around the country now know about amateur boxing champions, but basically I'm creating have created a platform for the amateur boxing system so that everybody can see what's coming next. All about the champions, all about the prospects and the contenders, but what you don't know is Keyshawn Davis is 2 fights away from me becoming a prospect very quickly. And I think that he was able to capitalize on the opportunity that was presented to him. He turned pro, even though he was an Olympian, because of the 2020, everything that happened in 2020. He moves forward, starts his professional career. Olympics get back going in 2021. He's qualified. He goes out of the professional ranks back into the amateur ranks to pursue his Olympic dreams. And I think he has a higher profile as a professional now due to what he did at the Olympic Games, winning 3 fights and coming up just short, losing the 4th fight and winning a silver medal at the 2020 Olympic Games. And I personally think that a lot of people know about him now and everything because of everything he accomplished at the Olympic Games. And I think the boxing community knows that more times than not, the guys who go on to the Olympic Games, win medals, do very well at the Olympic Games. Usually those guys turn pro and end up becoming everything you can be as professional boxers. So I'm trying to bridge the gap, y'all. I'm trying to create a way for everyone to tune in and get more familiar with these athletes much sooner than when they become 10-0 as pros and on their way to a world championship title. So what we're doing this week, we'll be here for 3 days, and we'll just be interviewing the fighters, getting these one-on-ones in with these fighters, so that we can create a profile for them. And we'll start here, and then we'll build it from there.
Hey, question, man. I don't know if Shane or you really know about what I'm about to ask you about, but I know Hudrico does. In high school football, I guess you can call that amateur football or whatever, or in college. But there's a ranking system called 24/7, Shawn, and it goes from 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars, and 2 stars. And I don't know if they do 1 stars. They possibly do.
They don't hurt nobody's feelings.
Yeah, they don't hurt nobody's feelings. But is that be like something like that you would do? Would you give guys like five gloves and 4 gloves, and would it be something like that, or how would you rank these guys?
It's not necessary.
Okay.
Well, these guys win national tournaments. Mm-hmm. They go on and fight in championship tournaments. So there's already a ranking system in place.
Okay.
I really don't need to touch that. Won't touch that.
Okay.
What I really want to do, I call it the LeBron James effect.
All right.
And that because I was talking to a gentleman that deals with the NBA, and I was telling him what I wanted to do. I want to create something so that people can see the athletes. And he said, create an app. I said, yeah, you think so? He said, man, I can sit right here at my desk right now and see who's going to be next in the NBA. I said, wow. He said, I learned about LeBron James when he was about 17, 18 years old. No, I didn't have the app in my hand at that point in time, but they had a platform. They had ways that people could connect with them, especially scouts and things like that, so that they can see what talented athletes are around the country playing basketball. And I said, you know what? That makes sense. A lot like LeBron James, when I was 17, 18, I was fighting in world championship tournaments, but nobody ever heard about it because there was no platform, there was no exposing, you know. So I've kind of taken that understanding and I'm applying that approach to boxing, something that literally has never been done. Yes, there is USAboxing.org, which is obviously the boxing website where you can see the rankings and things like that. But this is going to be a little bit more professional. That's what I'm doing. I'm taking the amateur boxing and I'm adding a professional twist that everybody really takes to in the professional game, you know. So everybody that I know that follows me, that didn't follow me because they knew me and didn't follow me because they were in the boxing game. I'm talking about just, you know, that 50 plus year old audience that I have is because they saw my story. Is because they got connected to me through what I had been through as a kid or what my dad had been through or what we collectively have been through. So that's what I'm going to do starting tomorrow. I'm going to get these 30-minute interviews. We're going to get into these guys' lives and expose who they are now. And then we'll just grow it from there. As the rankings change, as guys move in, guys move out, we'll make our adjustments and just keep this bad boy rolling.
And how would that work? Will you take your team and will y'all be traveling to countries to local tournaments, or how will people like updating rankings and stuff like that?
We start here. We start in the U.S.
Oh, we start.
I believe.
You about to, because you know if you go into another country, I'm hired.
Wait a minute.
I'm
Stop
hyped.
it. Stop it. I'll be going with you. I have a passport. Okay.
Hold on. I got a fucking passport. Okay.
Okay. I have a passport. I've been to multiple countries. I'm trained, ready to go.
I was gonna ask if you've been to, you got your passport, but you've been somewhere.
He's a killer. He's in the military. He killed people before.
We're not killers, okay? Listen, I've saved lives. I worked in the hospital. Man, I done been to Prague, Germany, France, Belgium, Czech Republic, Africa. And when I got to Africa, I did do the requirement. I did take one of my children. I held them up into the sky like the Lion King, and we played the music out loud because you have to do that. I mean, it's Africa. But like I said, we don't bend just about everywhere. So when you're doing this, let me know, ready to roll. But to tie into what you just said, when you said that connectivity piece, that's huge because if you can get somebody to learn that boxer early, if you get somebody who can learn what that boxer does, I start falling in love with him, and then when he gets that one loss. No, but really, so just to carry on to what he was saying, when you getting that boxer from that young age and you start building that story, that connection piece comes. It's almost like when you're watching like a Contender or you're watching some of these shows, when you see these guys working when nobody knows him, you start to build like, oh man, who is this Hudrico guy? And then as you see him rise and go through the ranks, it's almost like it's like a story, like a movie motion picture that you see this kid grow. And even when they do take a loss, you don't necessarily get rid of them because you've actually grown with them. You start becoming sympathetic and you start realizing like, oh, he only lost because of this, because of that. You know, when people start making excuses for you, that's when you don't made it, man. That's when somebody know you.
And you know, for somebody, I think this would be perfect if this was 10 years earlier for Shane Mosley. You know, a lot of people with you, Shane Mosley Jr., a lot of people look at you like you're a gift at everything. People don't, I know your story, man. People don't understand the BS you went through, Shane. Like, what if you had something like this when you were coming up?
I mean, I think it would have been great. I think it would have been a great platform and be able to have like that, just the eyes on you. But I'm thankful for like, you know, what I've had to go through, the Contender, like losing, all those things. I think it's a part of the journey, and it makes you a stronger man, it makes you a stronger person, a stronger athlete, stronger fighter, just all those things. It helps groom you because when you have all those experiences and things like that, you take everything that you are as a man into the ring.
Yeah.
right? So all those things are important. But as far as the platform is concerned, I think that is a great tool. And I think that a lot of these athletes will appreciate that, and we'll see a lot of stars from it, I think.
I think they also appreciate it from your standpoint. You did a hell of a job fighting out of a shadow, being your own man. And so when I can start learning your story, who you are, then it just really makes me separate who you are as a boxer. So I think it's a great tool that y'all got going on. Colorado Springs is also a great place, man. I lived there about 7 years. I've been everywhere.
Yeah, I see that, man.
I've been in just about everywhere.
You've been in a lot of places.
That's the whole point, kind of going back to the LeBron James effect. And what I like to say is people have been watching him since he's 17, 18 years old. I'm 34. He's 36, 37 now.
Yeah.
And those same people that watched him when he was 18, 19, they've grown with him. They've watched him. They know his story. They're always connected to him. And so that's what I want to do with this platform. I just want it to be a way for people to connect with the fighter much sooner than when he turns pro, much sooner than when he gets his first or she gets their first world championship title. And then you're connected to those fighters their entire journey. You see the whole journey, and you want to be a part of that journey. And that's the whole purpose of Amateur Boxing Champions. You guys can go to the website now, amateurboxingchampions.com. It is up, it's active, but now we're really about to get some meat and potatoes on this bad boy now. So
I think
you see what I try to do. I try to go with an old school Southern quote like my man Trev over
That's
there.
what I'm talking about.
Like he always pulling.
And don't worry, I got a couple of them for you today. Don't worry, they coming. You know what I'm saying? You can't say nothing slick to a can of oil. You understand me? I'm ready for you.
Yeah.
That sounds like what the hell was that?
You can't say nothing slick to a can of oil.
Things. Yeah, well, just a couple more things on the app because something like Shane Mosley, for instance, Jr. And having to fight out of his father's shadow, like you just said, Trev. When you have to do something like that, you need to be as visible as possible because if you're not visible, the only thing people know is the name, and they connect the name to what they already know. So I think it's taking some time for people to understand that Shane enjoys fighting, that Shane can fight, and Shane wants to be a champion. But it's taking a road for people to really understand that. So I want people to get connected to that road before it's in the fast lane and they just got to jump on and ride the wave. I want people to jump on much sooner than that.
Another aspect, a piece of this is when you're doing that, these other people who want to find the new boxers, who find these things, they now come to this website because this becomes the hub of if you want the next great thing, this is where you're going to look at it at. Yeah. And boxing has really made a resurgence. They had the golden years and they had them years where really everybody wasn't really watching. But right now, boxing is popping, and I'm not just talking about with fists. So see what I did there. So you want to throw that in, but at the same time, I think this is a great tool to kind of get people connected with people because when you make that connection, oh man, you got a fan for life.
Yeah. And I just think with the social media age, Shawn, you're doing this all it's timing. It's perfect timing. You always say, Anthony, relax. Everything's about timing. This one, perfect timing, bro. You might have something here, but I just want to let you know that you have hired Hudrico Live and Anthony Brenagh and now the new face of amateur boxing, Shane Mosley, ambassador. I just named everybody.
But hey, let's get to it real quick because in my absence, Ant didn't want to go into the studio. He's like, let's just do a remote show. I said, man, listen, you gotta get in the studio. You need to be in the studio, and people need to see the setup, no matter what's going on. So, up Shane. Shane is a great friend of ours. Really good boxer that we definitely support 100. So whenever anything's going on, he always hit up Shane, and I always say the same thing. Why didn't I think about that? Why didn't I think about that? Shane, incredible, man. You need to do something about that.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, I'm here when you need me, man.
Last time you told me hit up Shane, I hit him up an hour before we needed him somewhere. He said, "Come on, Anthony. Come on, Anthony." I said, "Hey, you know who that came from? That came from the top." All right, now I got Hudrico Live pointing at me.
Listen. The phone rings. Hello. Hey, show tomorrow 1:15. You go be there?
Sean was, me and Sean was in my
I
living
was
room.
in the room. I said it's like that. He said, I ain't got time to talk to people. I just know.
I mean, you got to at least take me to dinner first. He there was no whining today. Hey, what up? What you doing? Mark, 1:15. You got to go. And listen, opportunities don't go away. They go to other people.
Yeah.
So I had to make sure I can get up in here, man.
Yeah, so hey, I appreciate you guys coming in, filling in for us, helping us out. Sean's on the road, so you guys have been holding it down. Go ahead, Shawn.
I want to talk about Shane real quick, and then I want to talk about Hudrico, because I know both of them got some big things coming up real soon. And you into everything, Mr. Hudrico. But Shane, what's next for you, big dog?
So I am hoping to get a fight coming up before the year's over. We're having some complications with getting a fight right now with Golden Boy. I mean, I'm not sure what the issue is, but so hopefully we get that resolved and I can get a fight before the end of the year, man.
You just say as much as you can say. That's it.
I'm like, Shawn, you know the side he coming from right now. Like, chill out, man. And you hit him with the generic question.
What's that?
You want to get back in the ring, which I just knew was going to happen. I thought we were going to see you once more before the end of the year, with no doubt.
I thought I was going to be back in there like a couple times, man. I was hoping like 2 more times.
I think it's a road, man. It's a challenge, and people think that it's we just get in the ring and we fight, man. This is the fight before the fight, which is what my dad always said. He said, before you even get in the ring, you don't know everything that I got to do just to get you into a training camp to get into the ring. Right. Shane, are you in camp right now? You in pre-camp training and all that? Just waiting on the call?
I stay ready, so I'm training very often, at least 3 times a week. And I get in there and just stay ready. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So, you got to stay in some type of place where if a call does come or if something does come last minute, you can take advantage of the opportunity. So I try to stay there.
And been on the Oculus, sparring on the Oculus. So,
why don't you go spar with Shane?
Are you fucking crazy? You know. Okay, Sean somebody mentioned. Oh, Sean. I think I pissed Sean off one day. He's like, "I'm gonna get you in the ring with me." No, why would I do that? He was hot at me because after he thought about it, he's like, "Yeah, I'd never get in the ring with him." But in that moment, Sean wanted to take my head off. I don't know. I be talking crazy, I'm that friend. I say some crazy stuff.
But all of that, because we had this whole long conversation last week about what heavyweight I can be and what heavyweight I can't be, and all of a sudden your heavyweight ass won't get in the ring with Shane, little 160 Shane.
You're right. You're right. I'll fight a regular heavyweight walking down the street.
Why? Why would you do that?
I could whoop somebody walking down the street, but I'm 1-1, okay? Outside on the streets. 1-1.
Oh, yeah? Do we have any video footage of any of these fights?
No.
Where's the proof at? Where's the proof at?
Hey, but at least I'm not like one of them cats to be like, I'm 18-0. No, I took a loss and I took a tie. Okay? I took a loss and I took a tie.
How you get a tie in the streets? How you get
my dad swear he. My dad swear he.
Exactly. I'm not defeated. How did I get a tie?
Sean, how you get a tie in the streets?
But I believe it though.
So the tie is I was losing, but I threw a haymaker, and it equaled everything out. The fight was over.
Listen, man, my first professional street fight, I lost.
Professional street fight? How you get a professional?
This motherfucker said a professional.
That was my first professional street fight. Listen, I was a shot.
So what's your record?
We ain't gonna talk about records. I'm a journeyman.
Okay.
Listen, my first fight, I was wanting to fight this kid. I thought I was gonna bow up on him. I'm like, what's up? I was about 8. He hit me in the eye with a monkey wrench. Fight over.
Oh wow.
Fight over.
I don't think I've ever been in a fight where they brought up foreign object. Oh yes, they.
Florida.
Yeah.
Not Florida. Florida.
Oh man.
Ain't no fair fights.
Shawn, how many street fights you got? Besides that dude, your brother beat you up on the bus.
Yeah, right. I told that story. Yeah, that's pretty much the.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, so
I had never had a reason to fight nobody.
That's what I'm talking about.
Now, to the point we are in our life now, I think we'll all talk ourselves out of the situation.
Oh yeah,
like we can go there, but at the end of the day, man, I ain't trying to fight you, man. I got to pay these taxes. Hey, I'm trying to stay out of jail. Yeah, I've been there before. I've been to jail before.
Listen, you got to be capable of fighting and responsible enough not to fight.
Hey, man, Shawn, chill out,
His
man.
first reason for not fighting, though, is he got to pay taxes.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Hey, he ain't say, I ain't trying to fight you. I got a family at home. He said, I ain't trying to fight you. I got to pay taxes.
as if you fight a fight on the streets, like they're gonna raise your tax bracket. Does that put you in a different bracket if you win or lose?
Oh, man.
Hold on. Is there a purse at these fights that you're doing? What's going on?
We heard he's 16-1-1. Raise them taxes.
I want to know what his purse has been looking like. I want to know what his
man.
purse has been looking like. 16-1-1.
Hey, and I took a L. Hey, shout out to the dude, Shawn. And we ain't, I never told you his name. I never will. The dude got me. My foot got stuck in the pencil sharpener.
Wow.
Down
Pencil
south.
sharpener. Whoa, pencil sharpener. Hold on,
No,
pencil sharpener.
I
A pencil.
meant my foot got stuck in the trash can. I was at the pencil sharpener, and so we square up the fight. We fighting, and then all of a sudden I take a step back. Foot went straight in the trash can. Foot started sliding. He gave it to me. He Errol Spence me.
I prefer Bud Crawford, did you?
Oh, Bud Crawford on Shawn Porter or
Hey,
Bud Crawford on?
Oh, wow.
Damn, why you gotta do him like that, man?
Wow.
Damn.
Whose man's is this?
Hey, no, actually, you know what? You know what? Shawn was in there with a professional. Hey, Shawn, I never told you this, but since I just killed you, I'm gonna give it to you. And Shawn, don't bring this back up again, bro. You're my guy. Don't bring this back up again. I had a knot on my head after that fight.
Wow.
Oh.
Shawn, I told you don't bring it back. I'll never forget. My mom like, what the hell happened to you? Hey, shout out to
You
that
can
dude.
get at me all you want. You can try to kill me all you want. Hey, look behind you.
Hey, man, I can
Look
see
behind
behind me. I can see behind me.
Look behind you. I'll always be above you.
Oh.
Somebody call the police. We got active shooters over here.
Hey, man, shut up. Anyways,
Hey, let's talk to Hudrico.
yeah, let's get to my man Hudrico live.
What's up, baby? How y'all doing?
But tell everybody about Hudrico Live, because you say it like that's your real name.
Listen,
And
man.
I'm pretty sure it ain't.
Hey, man, let's tell this story how.
Yeah, how'd you get
how
Hudrico
we-
live, man?
It started off with me, Shawn.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it started off with me. I woke up to DMs every morning. I had a DMs for like, not every morning, but once a week I had DMs from a guy about that. I was getting them about 3 a.m. I wake up to him like, you know me, I'm pretty social. You know, y'all know fans, I'll hit you back. So I was hitting this guy back because we was talking about high school football, and I cover high school football here in Vegas. So every morning, and then finally I'm like, I don't understand why this dude always hit me up in the morning. Then he finally told me I'm in Germany in the military, but my wife is moving out there, sending my kid to Bishop Gorman, this and that. So we talked for about 2 years before we met.
Just about, because he did his first 2 years here before I was able to PCS down.
Yeah, and then finally one day I was at a football game. I think you walked up to me.
Yep, and I said, hey, ain't you the 702 guy, right?
Yeah, 702 high school football. Check it out on Twitter. If you're local, don't be follow me nationally. You know, I just want to stay local. But yeah, you know, some people want to stay small.
Said no one ever.
I want to stay small. But so yeah, I was covering high school football here, giving back to the kids, and guy came up to me. And then I think maybe he talked to me a little bit. I'm like, all right, yeah, we talked. The next time I seen this guy, he comes up to me and said, hey, man, you always having those house parties? I'm coming to your house. I said, what? Yeah, I'll be at your house. And my man was at my house the next day. He ate. He was there for about 30 minutes. He ate and everything, and he was asleep on my couch. My girl said, oh, he comfortable. And that's how me and Hudrico live met.
Listen, I knew early. I knew early that this was a good brother. You know what I mean? Listen, he brought me to his domicile. They had plenty of fixings. I ate. And me being truly me, because listen, one thing about me, I'm going to be me till I die. That's the only thing I know how to do. I took some plates home too, because I'm that guy. You bring me to the barbecue, I'm taking some plates home.
Hey, you come to my house, y'all. One thing, y'all all know, you come to my house, there's more than enough food.
Yeah, he had a nice spread. You had a nice spread.
I always keep a nice spread. How did you meet Shane?
So I met Shane
Because it was outside of me.
randomly. I was at a party. We was at a party.
It's my neighbor's house.
Yeah, it was like a Polynesian
What you
party.
doing there?
And listen, let me tell you something. I love Polynesian people because they love everybody. They have that.
And they feed you too. They feed you.
So that's the connection.
And that's
Listen,
why.
they feed you. So I'm sitting here, right? And I'm telling my wife, I'm like, man, that dude look real familiar. And she looked at me like, okay, Trevor, whatever. So I'm sitting there, and then he just out playing basketball with the kids, just hanging out.
Acting normal.
Acting like a normal human being. So then I kept saying, boy, I don't seen him somewhere. And then my wife like, why don't you just ask? Like, why are you doing this? And I say, no, you know what? He looked just like Shane Mosley. I mean, just like him. She's like, so then I get on the phone, you know, I got to pull it up. She's like, okay, he do favor him. So then I just me, I'm like, hey, man, do you know who you look like? And he just had that look like, yeah, man, that's my pops. And then honestly, we just started kicking it since then. Not because of who was possible, just because him as a person was just such a down-to-earth, regular human being.
Like when we started talking, I think we talked for like 3 hours.
Yeah,
after that. Like we
rapping.
just rapping, talking.
And then y'all met again at my house?
Yeah, so literally,
At my baby shower or something?
like I think it was like 2 weeks later. Like you invited me over to the house for to watch. I can't remember which fight it was. I think it was a Pacquiao fight.
Okay.
And then sure enough, I'm like, I see him walking through the door. I'm like, what you doing here? He's like, what you doing here? I'm like, this is my man's house. He's like, what? Like,
it just fell into part, man. Everything fell into play, man. And you know, and then through you, I was like, when I talked to Ann, I'm like, hey, man, look.
Hey, Shawn, I called you about this because I'm real selective on who I give Shawn to.
Listen, I had called. I said, listen, I need to do me a
He
favor.
kept asking me for you, Shawn. I was like, I shot you down for a year.
It did. He took me a while.
I said, hey, I was like, finally, I said, hey, Shawn, I got this dude, man. I don't really know him like that because me and Shawn had an incident. So I'm super selective now. Shout out to my boy that F'd me. Hey,
wow, why you shouting him out?
Because I set him up with Shawn and the whole interview went left.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, so I finally introduced, I get Hudrico and Shawn on the phone, and Shawn was like, hey, man, that was a great interview. He was hyped about you after it was over. He's like, man, I'll do it anytime. I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm sitting there holding him back.
You know, I'm going to be honest with you, and I think Shawn can say the same thing here. When you interview people, sometimes if you bring in energy, the other person sometimes let you down.
Yeah.
And it's not, when I got to sit here and make the whole conversation, that's difficult. But we were sitting there talking,
Vibing.
like I knew this dude for years.
Yeah.
You know, it was actually, I enjoyed the conversation just in talking to him as a human being. And of course, you know, my first thought was like, man, what a great grab to get on the podcast. Still is. But then when I sat down and talked with him, I'm like, you know what? I can rock with this dude. He'll rock with a good dude, man.
Yeah.
So that's how Hudrico got in everybody else. Like, now, who is Hudrico? Man, that's...
All right, go and speak on that. Who is Hudrico? A successful man. Hey, you did it right, bro. Hey, one thing I got to say, you know, a lot of people went to the military, and I think people are getting on one. Again, they're like, hey, Anthony, shut the hell up. I always say, hey, man, you went to the military? Did you do all your years? My boy did all his years. I say he got a second career, 3 beautiful kids, a wife. Oldest kid going to Stanford. Young black man going to Stanford.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you did it
Shout
right,
out
man.
to you, man.
Hey.
Listen, man, shout out to the missus as well, man.
Yes.
There was a lot that, you know how you said you was on the road? Man, we was on the Oregon Trail. You understand me? It was a lot to get to that standpoint, man. But big shout out to her and then the people that was around. Did 20 years in the military, just started teaching. I do podcasts and life coaching, speaking coach. Listen, if there's something that can be done, Hudrico is doing it, man. So we started the Hudrico Live podcast, man. Been doing that for a while, kind of getting after it. Been trying to get some great guests and just having conversations. And it's really all about motivation and motivating people through other people's stories. Because when people see like the Shawn Porters and they see the Shanes, they see all these people, all they see is, man, look, they made it. What they don't know is the hardships they had to go through to get there. And that's the piece of it that people need to hear, because somebody may be going through that same roadblock that you were at and think, man, there's no way around it. But then when they hear your story, it may give them the motivation they need to keep going. And that's my whole thing about helping people. I'm all about people. I love the kids. I mean, I'm all around great guy. And my wife, she bad too.
Hold on, this dude just say I'm all around great guy.
You know,
somebody else has to say that.
No, you need to know yourself. See, that's what's wrong with you. Everybody, you depend on what somebody else say. I don't depend on what nobody else say. I know me.
Hey,
Self-love
that's
is
the way
real.
to be.
Hey, but at the end of the day, I think we gotta we try to keep knuckleheads out of our circle.
No.
You know, you get in this circle, we pretty tight. You know, I think we hung out with Terence a month ago. Yeah. Terence was probably like, "What the hell is this?" And then after a while, I think he realized too. Just Shawn's circle is pretty tight, and we're not knuckleheads. Everybody keep it real. Hudrico Live, we'll go live with you if you know him or not. So just give your heads up. You're going live on Hudrico Live. Shane Mosley will chop it up with you. You know, I'm going to feed you. And Shawn Porter will talk to you. If he hits you with, yeah, He not listening.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The 3 years is real. Hey, the 3 years is real. Yeah, no, but see, you did it too slow. It's like, yeah.
Hey.
It's like too fast in the third.
Like, I see that mean you don't know where I would be if I can't do that. Where I'm gonna be in life. I can't do that.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, Shawn. I'll be having conversations with you and you do that, I'll be like, this motherfucker. And I repeat myself, like, you gonna that.
You gonna listen to me?
Yeah, you gonna listen to me. And I'll text him, because I know yeah, you're right. Nah, hell nah. You ain't hear nothing I just said.
Yeah, when he hit you with that too quick, wasn't that
he's a
third one?
politician.
Yeah,
he's a great politician.
Listen,
he can run for president.
All right. Hey, listen, we off me. All right. We back on Hudrico.
Okay.
Because I got a couple questions. First of all, where the hell did Hudrico come from?
Okay, so
you don't look like no Hudrico.
Listen. See, Hudrico is me getting in touch with my Spanish side. You know what I mean?
Say something in Spanish.
Si habla español.
Okay, there we go.
So see that,
You
boom.
got some more?
You never know what I hit you with.
You got some more?
Oh, what else
Ask
you
me what
want?
time it is.
Huh?
Ask me what time it is.
It's time for the PorterWay. Why do I need to answer that?
That would be KO'd ass.
No,
Listen,
KO'd
No,
ass.
but anyway, so
It's time for the PorterWay.
listen. So honestly, the way the name even came out is a friend of mine who I used to like play Madden with, and he used to always be like, Hudrico. And I'm like, why are you calling me that? He said, you keep acting like you Spanish, so I'm gonna just start calling you Hudrico. And I kept saying, I'm like, you know what? That got a nice ring to it. And it was something that's original. You know, I got Hudrico.com. Don't nobody else have Hudrico. So you got to find something that makes you unique in this business. And that's what I did. I went with Hudrico, and the live part came from, I'm going to date myself. A couple years ago, I was sitting there on my phone, and I saw somebody go live on Facebook. And that was the first time I ever saw Facebook Live. So I'm like, how are you? I remember I got off, when they stopped, I called them like, how did you do that? They're like, look, it's a little button on your phone that say live. So I was at NCOA Academy in San Antonio, Texas, and I used to walk home every day from class, and I used to be like this, what's up, y'all? It's Hudrico Live. I'm live right now, so it's Hudrico Live. And you know what?
It's stuck.
It's stuck.
Okay.
And as you can see, Hudrico Live is in the building.
Blue Wire Studios.
hey, listen. So he put me with Hudrico, and he explained everything to me. But I had never seen you before, Trevor. So
Yeah, that's
when
his
I get on
name.
the line with you, I thought you were the producer, and I was waiting on a Hispanic guy named Hudrico. And then he said, all right, yeah, let's get going with this. I said, yeah, all right, yeah, let's go. And it ended up being some of the most genuine, good interview / conversation that I've had in a very long time. And at first, and again, this was my first time meeting him. But after an hour, after a good 60 minutes of us conversing, and our back and forth that we had, I said, I feel like I need to be involved with this guy, and I feel like this guy needs to be involved with me. So we get off the line, off of the record. We start recording the show. I said, yo, tell me a little bit more about yourself, what you got going on. He had done 20-something years in the military, was getting out relatively soon and getting into some other entrepreneurial things. And something about your energy, Trev, which you already know, and just something about you in general. I said, at that point in time, I said, we're going to work together, man. Yeah. I said, I'm working on some things. I can't tell you when it's going to happen. All I can tell you is that I like you. You're a good dude. And we're going to work together someday. So that day has not come yet.
Well, kind of. He's here right now.
Until that time, yeah. Well, this is definitely a piece of what we can do together. But from a motivational standpoint, from a standpoint of traveling this country and then even possibly the world, because we both have passports and we have some stamps.
I got a passport.
Boy, you ain't got no
passport too.
I definitely got a passport.
I definitely got a passport.
Ladies and gentlemen, Antt does not have a passport.
I do got a passport. I ain't been nowhere, but I got a passport.
He has a passport.
With
he
no
looks
stamp.
like a straight up doofus in his photo.
How you seen that picture?
I feel bad.
How you seen that picture?
Photo.
How you seen that
seen
picture?
it.
But how'd you see it? Hey, my girl.
But until you get stamped, my man.
Exactly.
Until you're on your second passport, my man, don't say anything to us.
Hey,
Okay.
Have you had to renew yet?
no,
Have you had to renew?
First off,
stop it. Have you had to
He
renew?
gonna have to renew before he goes somewhere. He's gonna be trying to renew before.
They're gonna say, "Excuse me, sir. This book has not been used. Why do you want to renew?"
hey, I'm a domestic boy. I've been all over the states. I've been to Florida Keys.
Hey, we going to Miami talking about some. Do I need this
No,
passport?
I ain't saying shit like that. No, I don't say shit like that. I've been to Florida Keys. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And I drove.
But hey, let's do this real quick, cause man, just a couple funny things. Y'all will see Trev much more, cause I am definitely gonna involve him in a lot of things that I have moving forward. And I'm talking about it like just the end of the show. But Trevor, I need you to tell this story, man. Tell everybody first of all, tell everybody where you from.
I'm born and raised in Miami, Florida. Best state. I call it a state in the world.
I heard it's the craziest state in the country.
It can be.
Okay.
But where you're from, you said you kind of was shut off from the world at some point for most of your life, right?
A bit. Miami's a little different. Miami's not like the normal places in the world. I mean, it's got its own vibe. Like the whole rest of the state of Florida is a completely different atmosphere than Miami.
So then you go to the Air Force, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So and then when you get in the Air Force, that's when you kind of start to travel and find out what life is all about. Because there's some things in life that you just have never experienced.
Like?
Tell
Like?
the story.
Tell us the story.
I need you to tell that one. Bro.
Which one?
The one about 9/11.
Oh,
When it went down.
Oh, so okay. All right, y'all. So listen. First off,
And tell it, yo. Don't tell no long story short. Tell the damn story.
Give him a single shot.
I'm gonna tell you.
Single shot. Let's go.
You talk about 9/11, September 11th. So when this happened, I was in the military. So I was in the military, and we were during the 5th week of basic training. They have something called Warrior Week, where they take you out in the field. And when they take you out in the field, they trying to give you a warlike scenario to saying this is what you are going to get in deployed for. So it's like a training. So we're sitting there, we learn.
What year is it?
This is 2000. This is 2001.
Yeah.
So we sitting there,
when
and it happens to be 9/11, the actual date. And I'm sitting there. We learn how to clean guns, and I was the dorm chief. For people who don't know, the dorm chief is like the person who's in charge of everybody in the flight, and basically you're the one who get yelled at when they do something dumb. Anyways, so we sitting there learning how to clean guns, and all of a sudden, this guy comes in the room. And he's like, "Hey, everybody, form up in the main hall right now. Stop what you're doing." So we all put our M16s down, and everybody looked at me like, "Dorm chief, what we doing?" I'm like, "I don't know." So we go out and we form up, and we all lined up. And the guy comes up and he says, 2 planes have just flown into the Twin Towers. All jokes aside, I looked at him like this. What's the Twin Towers? Because I listen, I didn't even know where that was or what was going on. So he said, when the buses come, you need to put your heads down and get on the bus. So the buses come and we running, we got our heads down, and I'm sitting here like, what is going on? Mm-hmm. So we get on the bus driver and they like, don't talk, just sit down. And in my brain, I'm like, y'all are really getting a lot of people involved to make me believe this wartime scenario. Like, I'm like, this must be real. This like not real, like this is real involvement. So we go back to our dorms, our tents at that point. They're like, pack all your shit up. We gotta go. And I'm like, y'all is really laying this on thick. Like, what is this Twin Tower thing? Like, I really didn't.
You think this is another practice?
I'm thinking this is the scenario they're giving us while we're deploying. But now I'm like, why are you making me pack all my stuff? So we get our bags and we get back on the bus. And we drive back to the basic training dorms. And there's yellow tape surrounding the entire building. And then I had a slice of reality said, hey, Trevor, you don't been here 5 weeks. You ain't never seen yellow tape around the building. But then when you're a trainee, you kind of dumb because you just you living for the next meal, okay? Yeah. So I'm telling myself, maybe I was just upstairs when they did this drill. So we get out there and my dorm chief's like, Master Sergeant Obi, he's like, get your asses upstairs, hurry up, put your heads down. So I'm still like, are y'all giving out an Academy Award for this? Like, why is everybody so involved? We went in this room called the day room. They had TVs in there. I didn't even know these TVs worked. because we never used them.
Yeah.
The dorm chief, I never forget his name, was Charles Aloysius Jenkins. Yes, it was Aloysius. So we plugged
black?
TVs. Yes, he was.
All right, cool.
Oh, he
I mean,
was.
he had to be.
Listen,
That name, he had to be.
Aloysius, come on. So we plug the TVs up, right? And then they turn the TVs on. And this is the first time I'm seeing what happened. But unfortunately, I still wasn't I wasn't the sharpest crayon in the box. So I'm seeing the plane fly in, and the TI he getting us, he's like, you see this shit? You see this? And I'm like, I raised my hand, and I'm like, sir, training Hudson reports his order. How did you guys computer graphically put these planes so it looks so real?
That ain't funny. That ain't funny.
No, my
That ain't
man
funny,
my man looked at us and he was like, he said, you got to be the dumbest mother if I've ever seen in my life. This ain't no game. This is real. All y'all ass going to war. Boy, let me tell you something. The whole mood of the room changed. People, I had some people that I didn't join for this. I'm like, dude, we here now.
Wow.
And honestly, not too long after, I did have my first deployment, man. But like literally, I didn't know what the Twin Towers was. I thought the whole thing was a fake scenario, man. Shout out to everyone. You know, that's definitely a tragic day in our history.
Yes.
But it was one that honestly, from a military standpoint, when I joined, we weren't in conflict. Mm-hmm. But after going through that, it even gave the service more purpose. It gave me more of a meaning to say, hey, this is another reason why I want to do this, why I want to be here. But see, that Miami-Dade County, man, I love that place. But I learned a lot once I stepped outside. Yeah. Because once you get outside of home, man, there's a whole different world. So I listen to all the viewers out there. If you stuck in that same city, man, try something different. You never know. I didn't know, and I shouldn't tell this about myself, but I'm gonna tell you.
I'm from a small town in the South too, so
San Antonio, Texas.
This one too.
I know you did. And I knew this is where you was going when you said 9/11. You know, you dirty dude.
San Antonio.
Listen, I went to San Antonio, and there was like an emergency situation, and they was like, "Hurry up! Somebody call the police!" And they like, "Hudson, why don't you call the police?" And you know what I asked? I said, "What's the number?"
What?
They said, I said, what's the number? And they like, 911. I'm like, no, fool, we not in Miami. That's Miami's number.
Oh.
What's the number for San Antonio? Bro, you got to realize, man, I need you to think about that, though. I didn't think if I dialed 911 in San Antonio, I thought it would call the Miami police.
Miami, be like, hey, nah.
I didn't know.
Wow.
Listen, Hudrico has grown. You know what I'm saying? I have grown. And I'm not afraid to show my downfalls or my hiccups.
Hey, shout out to Miami. I ain't gonna blame this all on y'all. I think this might be. What street you was born on? What street you was born on?
No. Listen, my mama's always pushed grades. Grades have been important in the household.
Shout out to your mama, but hey, shout out to the new generation of Hudsons at Stanford. Hey, Ben,
right.
Get it right, baby. Don't be like your daddy.
That was an honest mistake.
God dang.
You mean to tell me? Hold on. So you knew the whole time that worked everywhere. I mean, now that you were an adult, you knew. But you think if you never left the city,
I don't think I ever really thought like that. But I mean, I figure if I called 911, the cops showed up
in a different city.
Yeah, I think I did think that too. Yeah.
It's okay.
So I end up down in Florida broadcasting, and I needed to get my hair done. I don't even know how it happened. I hit up Antt. I hit up Antt because I knew that Trev was from
No, you
Florida.
didn't. No, you didn't. You hit up Antt, said, hey, I need you to find somebody to do my hair. I said, what the fuck is that's exactly, and then you didn't hit it.
I remember now.
Shawn hits me with stuff sometimes if anybody can get it done, I know Antt can. I'll be like, bro, why put me in this situation, bro? I had some options. I'm hitting up people, talking to people, and I said, hold on. Hey, Trevor.
Yeah.
Hey, don't you got somebody down there that can do some hair? And I hit Shawn with it. Shawn was like, oh yeah, you're right. Trevor was like, yeah, we're gonna make it happen. I'm hitting up girls and I'm hitting up girls in Miami and stuff.
Hey, make sure you play. Listen, say this right. Think this part through before you say it.
Girls that I found on Instagram that do hair.
There you go.
And my brother that has connects that girls in Miami. I'm not gonna be tripping like that. I ain't tripping. But hey, whatever. Yeah.
All
so,
right.
but hey.
But that's why I hit you up. I hit you up because you communicate with people and you know how to find people. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah. And we completely.
Even though I'm in the city.
Yeah. I'm in Las Vegas.
Like,
Shawn's in Miami when he calls me. He calls me in I'm sitting on my couch. My girl's like, how the hell you gonna figure that out? I was like, I'm gonna do my best. The whole time I said, Shawn, we got Trevor.
Hey, listen, look behind you.
Oh, here we
look
go.
behind you.
Okay, I got you, man.
This why you gonna do your best right here.
Oh my God.
This,
Oh man, I'm about to quit the show.
so that guy,
But
he said, I don't know, but I'm gonna do my best.
yeah.
And look behind you. Say it again.
Hey man, nah, get the hell out of here. We moving on from that. So then me and Shawn come on. I was like, hey man, Trevor live down there. He's like, hit him up. We hit up Trevor. Trevor's like, hey, I'm gonna make it happen. Literally, it was like a 10-second phone call. He called his mom. I don't know what happened. All I know, Shawn was going to get his hair braided at Trevor's mama house that he never met before. And did Shawn go to the hood? You go to the hood, Shawn?
No, my mama live in a decent neighborhood.
Why you say it like that?
I take moves. I just do what I got to do, right?
Yeah.
I'm on my way out. Have called the Uber. I'm walking to the Uber. Security see me, and he say, "Hey man, where you headed? Do you need something?" I said, "I'm about to go get my hair done." He said, "Where you going to get your hair done at?" I said, "Oh, it's about 30 minutes away from here." He said, "We're not gonna do that."
Yeah, because I called Shawn too.
He said, "No, we're not gonna do that. I'm getting the car and I'm taking you myself." So shout out to Fox Security, man. They're great people. And he took me down to get with Trev's mom. And Trev's mom reached out to her friend that does hair. And I'm not gonna age this lady, but this older woman did my hair. And Trev, your mom talked shit to me the entire time I was at her house.
That sound like her.
She and hit me with the Southern hospitality.
She probably offered you some food
hungry?
too. Yeah.
I'm good. She said, "No, you hungry?" I said, "No, I'm good." She said, "Well, I'm food for you to eat." I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, dang, like this is where I come from. So I get more and more comfortable the longer I'm there, because this is where I come from.
Yeah.
She talking to me the same way I've heard my great grandparents and my other people in my family talk to family and friends. She treating me like I'm family and like I'm friends, right? So she offered me something to drink. I said, "No, I'm good." She said, "You wasn't getting none anyway." I'm like, dang, like, where did this come from? But she showed me nothing but love, right? Hey, listen, and Trev, shout out to you, Trev, because you kept calling, making sure I was good. He good? Did he eat? Is she doing his hair? How's it looking? I mean, she kept calling, or you kept calling back. Call back like 3 times. On the 4th ring, she's like, "I ain't answering the phone." And her friend was like, "Well, who is it?" She said, "It's Trev just getting on my nerves." She said, "Why he keep calling?" She said, "Just calling to make sure he's safe." And look back at me.
It's a
Oh,
good
he's just looking out. He said, "No." He said, "No, he getting on my damn nerves, and he bet not call me again." So shout out to mom, man. I had a great time meeting your mom and all that good stuff, man. You ain't been nothing but good people since I met you, man. I appreciate you for real.
Listen, man, when you was down there, because, here's the thing. I know how quickly, Florida City, Miami is a neighborhood that you can be in a nice neighborhood on this street. You can turn left, and you're in a whole different scenario. So I just wanted to make sure you got there, you were secured. I knew she was going to feed you. I had no shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
You could have been training for the fight of your lifetime. You wasn't leaving. You was going to have another fight in the house you wouldn't have ate.
Hey, security left for the plate.
Security left.
Oh yeah, she gonna say, listen. That's where I get it from. You see, you gonna leave with a plate. She go make sure you fed. So I just wanted to make sure it got done, because it was like, really, we putting the last minute thing together. And then the lady who came, shout out to Miss Rose, who came down and did the hair. I know Miss Rose too, and she can be. I be trying to get you in, get you taken care of, and get you about your business. I don't need no extras.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, because Nick, by the end, she was trying to flirt a little bit.
Yeah, listen,
Don't snitch on Miss Rose.
Hey, listen, that's why I try. Listen,
come on.
that's why I was. Hey, is it good? Has the ego left? Has the
Come on. Shout out to Miss Rose. She can. Hey. You never know. Hey, old people can cook. Old women can get you keep you full.
Nah, but I'm just glad it worked out for you, man. And honestly, when you meet people who show you love, you have no problem showing love and trying to do things to make them get situated. So it was a situation that I can assist in, and so why not? You know what I'm saying? Help my guy.
Yeah. So, all right.
Well, this with being completely dead in the world of boxing for the first time in a long time.
Oh, we got
We was
Sebastian
like- I
next
said,
week.
We'll get to him, but
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure we could fulfill our duties as a podcast and still give these people something that's entertaining and something that they appreciate. And that's why we had Shane come on. He's a familiar face to the podcast, and probably should start modeling relatively soon because he's a good looking guy.
Oh, thank you.
What's going on with the model?
And actually, him and his lady is actually coming out with their own podcast called His and Hers.
Oh
No, we're not. He's trying
Listen,
to make that up.
I'm like,
He's trying to make that up, man.
Did we just do a PorterWay exclusive?
Hey, I just dropped it on her.
Nah, man, I'm not doing anything like that yet. I've gotten into a little bit of commentating, which I enjoy. I mean, like talking and talking about something I love, which is boxing. I feel like is great. So I enjoy that, and I would love to stay in the realm of what I actually do and what I actually love, which is boxing. So that's why I choose to stay in that. Modeling, I mean,
you got offers, right?
I haven't actively looked for like modeling jobs, so I haven't got anything like that as of yet. But I feel like if I did approach that and like look for that
agency,
then I could probably get that. But that's not my focus. My focus is becoming a champion. My focus is like staying within boxing and how I can help boxing and that. You know what I mean?
Push the sport.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And for all you modeling agencies, I am looking for contracts, so I am ready and available. Hands fellow too. So I'm just saying, if y'all got you, we can do that too.
He said it when he came on. He said opportunities don't go away; they just go to somebody else.
They go to other people.
Right.
They go to other people.
Sean, you want to tell?
I'll never forget.
You gonna tell that story?
He walked into the Bishop Gourmet.
That's the story. That's the story.
I said, there go Trev. I salute. He from a distance. Then he make his way down. I'm like, all right, cool. We dap up all that. Sitting with Coach
Tyronn Lue. Tyronn Lue.
What's Coach?
Coach Lue.
Coach Lue. We sitting with Coach Tyronn Lue, and he extended his hand to Tyronn Lue. I get in between the middle of that. I said, hold on a second. I take his hand away. I said, no, you don't talk to Mr. Lue like that. You don't know him. And then you proceed to shoot your shot and drill a three from half court.
Within 10 seconds, Sean. All this was he met him within 10 seconds, and he did all this.
Listen, man. Listen.
Hey, listen.
Tell him what?
Trev, tell him what you did when you walked up.
So basically, listen. First off, like they said,
he don't even know what he did because he was just being himself.
I was just being me.
Tell him how you just walked in the gym.
So basically, we walked into the gym. Honestly, my whole purpose of even going in the gym, I was looking for something else in the locker room. And then I thought they was having like basketball practice, but I thought they was being a little loud for basketball practice. So I walk out to the court.
He been knows himself.
I walk out, and then I see Antt, I see Shawn. I'm like, oh, let me go holler at my guys. So I dap them up, and we cool. And then I look to the left, and I say, well, wait a minute, that's Tyronn Lue.
I know you.
I said, I know you. He said, what's going on, man? I said, how you doing, man? I'm trying to give you a great opportunity.
That's what he said.
And he looked at me like, what's the opportunity? I want you to be a guest on my show. And then Shawn like, hey, man, hey, wait a minute. You don't even know this guy like that. I told Shawn, I said, look, if I don't take a shot, you never know if I'm going to make it. And Coach Lue was like, you know what? You never know. I said, so, Coach, what's the word? Can I get you on the pod? He's like, you know what? Here's my number. Let's set that up. Still waiting, Coach Lue. Ready to go. But you listen, I took the shot. You took the shot.
Boom.
And you never know.
I'm sitting here like, how the hell you do this? He's sitting here having a full-fledged conversation with Tyronn Lue. Don't know this man from nothing. I talked to Tyronn because he's seen me on the big screen so many times. So we have a little bit of a friendship and all those different types of things. But I'm sitting here like, this man is a stranger, and he just walk up to this dude talking to Mr. Lue like Coach Lue, like he know him, been knowing him for 10, 15 years. I said, I ought to try that, right? So I end up in the same situation, right?
Uh-oh.
And I ain't gonna say who it was. And I go ahead, I'm talking to him like I'm you, Trevor.
There you go.
That stuff do not flow off. It don't flow off of my tongue the same way it go for you, right? I left the room after that moment. I said, I'll never do it again. I'm gonna let you have that. I'll never do it again.
And this is what Trevor does. Because then what? Maybe a month later, Shawn, we had Terence come in town. Yep. We went paintballing that morning about 2:00. Well, we all came over my house, watching the fights, everything. Shawn, how long was he in our house for? Him and I looked around. First, it was within minutes. I see Terence. He got Terence laughing. So then I see Terence tap Shawn, hey, they brothers, right? I'm like, who are you talking about? He's like, them two, they brothers. I'm like, who are you talking about? So now he think me and you brothers because we act alike. So at this point, Shawn's like, nah, they ain't brothers. And Shawn don't know I'm seeing this. I'm observing of everything. Hey, he took a liking to you. When you left, he's like, hey, man, that guy funny. So, hey, within any time, you get him around somebody, he going to put the Hudrico live on you. Yeah.
By the way, episode with Terence Crawford coming out next week on Hudrico Live. Oh, yeah, that was done. Y'all thought it was a game?
Oh, okay.
Y'all thought it was a game?
Made it happen, for real.
I was waiting for this opportunity to say, hey, tune in, subscribe to Hudrico Live, because this week we got an episode with Terence Crawford talking about Spence, talking about fight, talking about how he grew up, but you can only get that on Hudrico Live.
Yeah, because can't nobody get Terence right now.
Did you talk about the fighting? Like did you talk about that?
So listen, let me tell you.
Are they fighting?
Listen, I talked about the fight. I talked about what round he think he gonna put him down. Okay. Yep, I said it.
Okay.
I mean, and listen, if you need to catch up with Hudrico Live, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, everywhere at Hudrico Live, man. Tap in. Listen, I'm almost to 1,000. You know, I ain't doing them PorterWay numbers yet.
Yeah.
But I'm coming, Blue Eye.
You gotta shoot your shot. You gotta take the shot, man.
I'll let you. I'm already wearing blue. I'm just saying it's a natural fit. But listen, subscribe to Hudrico Live, man. We definitely getting it going. I thank these guys for helping me with that platform to get me to where I'm trying to get to. But man, had a great interview with them. We talked about Omaha, man, because like literally, when you think of Omaha, what do you think of?
Flat white people.
Okay.
No, not like fat white. Flat. And there's a bunch of white people.
Oh, okay. I need you to use commas in your speeches.
I'm from Bucky, Louisiana. We don't use commas.
So, but that's, when I asked somebody, what is Omaha like? So we went into that. We talked about, the 60-yard pass. I even put the footage up there.
Bro, he did. Hey, Terence Crawford. It was not 60 yards.
It was 60,
I texted you the other day, and you going to say 62 yards. I had to get him off my phone. I ain't talking to Terence.
Listen, we going to get it.
It was 60, bro. It was 60.
Listen, you know what? You can find all this out and more at Hudrico Live. But no, honestly, man, but I appreciate you gentlemen, because at the end of the day, just a part of this has put me in some rooms and put me with some people that, generally you don't get a chance to meet. So I've done that, and this is just kind of the person that I am. For example, I ended up meeting Dana White Thursday night.
Oh, okay.
You already know where I went. Shawn, you know where I went, don't you? It's coming up.
Let me get that number.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Matter of fact,
I went to my son's game.
I
went to my son's game at Stanford.
Okay.
Ended up running into Emmitt Smith, NFL legend. Coming to you in November on Hudrico Live. Listen, I be taking my shot, man, because at the end of the day, listen, for everybody who's out there and I know, Shawn, you always do motivation stuff, but on some motivational, you don't know the moments in life when you're going to get that moment again. Mm-hmm. You don't know when you're going to get that opportunity to meet that person, have that shot, have that situation. 100%. So if you don't take advantage of it, then you got to live with this thing called regret. I ain't doing that. Yeah. I'm going to take my shot. When I met Shane. When I met Shane, I was like, hey, by the way, can I get you on the podcast?
Oh, yeah, of course. He was like, I was like, yeah, man.
What's crazy, Shawn, is all I hear is, hey, get him on the podcast. Motherfucker, I introduced you to everybody. You didn't get me on the podcast once.
Dang.
So, ladies and gentlemen, listen.
Basically saying you're not that important.
What that happened?
You're not that important.
He said, what you want to come on, motherfucker, talk about plumbing?
What happened was, listen, it's coming down the road. You know what I mean? Listen.
Yeah, he said, build your profile, and I'll give you.
I'm going to tell you the famous line you've heard. It's all about timing.
Okay, Shawn Porter.
It's all about timing. 702, it's coming on. It's coming down.
Okay.
But no, we definitely got some things going, man. But it's been a great ride, man. I enjoy life. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to live it to the fullest, and I want everybody else to do the same, man. Yeah. I can't wait for you to get back in the ring to put some more So let me tell you a little quick something. So I said this on one of my posts before, and I said I always thought I wanted to be a boxer until I went training with a boxer. Well, I worked out with Shane. But look, it couldn't have been 2 weeks. But look here, I ain't been back since. I'm running. That dude be trying to kill you. How do y'all do that? Like, and he talking about this just a warm up. He was warmed up. I was warmed out. I was ready to get a protein shake and call it a day. And he talking about that's just a warm up.
It's not for everybody.
So I'm gonna tell you, whoever do get in the ring with him, listen, keep him up, protect your face. That boy ready, man. That boy is ready.
I hate when people say it's the warm up, and they know damn well this ain't the workout has begun.
No, it was a warm up. It was.
He lives by that.
It was a warm up.
Hey, I don't believe in warming up, Shawn. I'll be like, you're wasting my time. Let's just go. Either we warming up or we stretching.
Listen, I'm a fat kid. The warm up was when I got in the car. That was the warm up. Me walking to the car with the warm up. When I get in the gym, I'm ready to get it in. But yeah, he definitely did a good job kicking my behind. So I shout out to him. But I listen, boy, ready.
Hey, when I first moved out here, I was in the apartments and I had to go work out. I told Antt, the other guy that I was with, I got to get a workout in real quick. And said, all right, cool, I'll go with you. Went in, doing my workout, get my work in and all that.
He's serious.
Next thing I know, this big dude in some flip-flops walks over and says, oh, yeah, I'm going to hit these real quick. I said, what? He said, I'm going to hit these real quick. I said, you going to hit these with them flip-flops on? He said, what's wrong with that? I said, you ain't no athlete. What you mean? I play football. I said, you wasn't no athlete.
Listen, we've been trying to get Antt. Me, Shane, and Montreal, we've been trying to get Antt to show up. We even put one on a Sunday. You know, Antt be like,
he don't want no smoke.
Okay. Oh, listen.
He don't want no smoke.
Listen, one day, and producers, I'll send y'all this picture if you need me to. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, he broke man code. Man code is there's certain things you just don't do.
Oh, man.
So we were talking to him about the workout, Shawn. We talking about, hey, come work out with us. No. That's Kayate. I tell y'all, Kayate. Listen, we got to work out in. We like, Antt, come work out with us. Ant's like, oh, I can't, but don't worry. I got my workout in on the Oculus. This man sends us a picture of himself sweating. And it's like, you can tell he ain't got now shirt on, but it's like, you ain't got no nipple line, but it's for help. And I'm like, I looked at it, I typed immediately, you are banned from the group chat for weeks. You can't say there's no half naked picture of you sweating.
I'm sure you're working.
I don't know what
sure
workout
you're working.
I
We didn't
don't
know what work you was talking
you
about.
was doing.
Hey, we watch Half Naked Men's every Saturday night, okay? So ain't nothing wrong with sitting Half Naked Men.
Nah, bro. Nah.
All right.
Party foul.
Are you pulling up the
I'm
picture right now?
Talk about something.
No, we ain't got that picture. Okay.
I don't want to say that.
Whatever.
Hey, listen, let's get into the boxing, though, right
Let's
quick.
do it.
So are we gonna talk about this Spence-Crawford that we look like we're not getting it? Hey man, shout out to my boy over at Naeem Lynn with Kevin Hart. Hey, he's a big fan of Terence Crawford. So he ran into Terence, and he's a huge Shawn. He loves Terence. Like if that was his idol he could meet, it was Terence Crawford. So obviously Kevin Hart set that up, and he met Terence, and so he's trying to figure out what you're gonna say to somebody, your idol, and somebody you really like to meet. Hey, that's crazy. Hey, so he meets him backstage, right, Shawn? And he's trying to think of something to say. He's like, hey, so I guess the Crawford Spence fight ain't happening this year. Who the fuck told you that? Crawford. Don't start him. He went to 20 on him immediately. See, he's like, it's people like you that always think you know something about boxing. Man, you don't know nothing about boxing. Hey, Terence went off on him.
Dang.
And he was like, that was his moment. Like, he's a big Crawford fan, and he was all about meeting him. But, don't look like he might be getting that fight this year, man. It's not looking good. I know, Terence, you see this, he'll probably text me and go off on me too, but, it is what it is. It's not looking good. But, Shawn, you've been there. Shane, you've been there. There's more to it than we just making this fight. No, Terence is not running from Errol. No, Errol's not running from Terence. Go ahead, Shane.
I don't think either guy's. At the end of the day, even when they decide that they want to fight, you got to understand that now the promoters, networks have to figure out the perfect day to do this fight. You can't compete against other sports. Can't compete against NFL, NBA, college football. You know what I mean? You don't want to do that big fight at the same time as another sporting event. It ain't even got to be a big sporting event. Some sports out there just overshadow boxing. Well, every sport, a majority of the sports overshadow boxing. So you just have to pick the perfect time, the right moment to make that fight happen. So, I think that while those guys are still negotiating and still trying to figure everything out, and as far as we know, they may already have everything figured out, and we're just waiting now for this for them to decide on what that perfect date is. I saw that November 19th was announced, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna front. I didn't jump up. I didn't shoot out no text messages. Hey man, good luck. Looking forward to it. To nobody, nothing like that. Quiet as it's kept. I felt like that might not be the date, and it's turning out to be that way now. So, what I want to do is just encourage everybody to stay patient.
Mm-hmm.
Patience is a virtue, and it's one of those things that we really don't have control of. We can't control how long we should wait for something or when something's gonna jump off. So the best thing we can do is, collectively just be patient, be optimistic, and look forward to when that fight does happen. And I've gone on record for saying this once, and I'll say it again and again and again. I think that for both of these gentlemen, the next fight for Terence is Errol. The next fight for Errol is Terence. I don't see those guys moving into another weight class or taking on another fighter opposed to fighting one another. I just think that the timing is too right. It's too now. And no matter how long it takes for them to come to an agreement, how long it takes for the networks and promoters and everything to line up, it's going to line up. If I had to guess, I'd say it's going to line up in January. And that's me not even looking at the calendar. That's me just kind of going based off of my feelings. I think that that's when it happens. And I think that now, if anything, we have people talking about something, and that's what needs to happen. If this fight doesn't happen until, let's say hypothetically it happens to March, why should we wait until February to start talking about this fight? Why should we wait until the end of January to start promoting this fight? That's not what you do with this fight. What you do with this fight is exactly what we're doing today. Let's talk about it. Keep talking about it. Keep everybody hyped. Keep everybody excited. The difference is it's going to come. It would be different if this fight wasn't coming and we're keeping everybody hyped about nothing. It's going to come. It's just taking time, So I think the best thing to do is just keep talking about it.
And, with this fight, I always say, like, somebody's like, well, you don't think it can happen? I was like, this was 2 weeks ago. I was like, yes, possibly it can happen. But I want him to get the whole build up. I want to go on a 3-city tour, kind of like your dad and Floyd did. They hit 3 of the major cities. I want all this because at the end of the day, it's people that don't know boxing that's missing a hell of a fight. This is one of those fights that can help boxing big time, man. We need to do the ESPNs, the Fox. We need to do Florida, Miami.
Don't worry about it. It's not your fault.
You got it.
That's why your passport don't work. You got it. That's why you ain't got no passport.
We need to do Miami, New York, LA, Vegas, but it just needs to be promoted right. Boxing, hey, Shawn, come on, man. Stay professional at all times, okay? Stay professional at all times, okay? But now, at the end of the day, this is a big moment for boxing and can help our boxing big time. Just don't mess this up. Also, and when they get closer, Crawford, Spence, don't go up in there and give us no lollygagging all night. We need wars.
I don't think you're going to get that lollygag.
You're not going to get that this fight. This fight, you're not going to get that.
Somebody getting hurt?
I think somebody's getting knocked out.
I do. I agree.
Let's go.
I agree.
I think this is the fight right here that like is because of based on who both of those fighters are, you're probably going to see like a Hagler Hearns, like that type of fight.
I would love it. I would love it.
And because Terence is mean and Errol is game for it, and they're both not going to back down. So we're going to see. I think personally, you're going to see a war.
I think you're going to see a war in that fight. But
What's
I think
up,
what's happening.
What's up?
Go ahead.
No. You finish.
Let him speak.
Okay.
Let him speak. Go ahead.
No, honestly, the thing is, people are starting to take sides because since the November 19th date came out, which I don't know who came up with November 19th. I think somebody wanted to be popping and put it out there. But then if you think about November 19th, we should have knew in the beginning that wasn't going to happen. You got NFL Thanksgiving. It's like it's just a horrible time to have that. It's a horrible time to have the fight. But somebody said they wanted to be popping. But now what's interesting when you see on the Facebook, it'll say Terence Crawford agreed to take less and do this, but it's Errol Spence side. And honestly, I think what we slipping on, this is all part of promotion. This is all a part of the promotion of this fight because now you're building a villain. You're building a good guy and a bad guy. You're building up more of the fight. You say you want a 3-city tour. Right now, you're getting a nation. Everybody is entrenched in, we want this fight. So as long as they can have some controversy and some conspiracy, it just actually builds for a better fight. Shawn made a good point. He's like, this fight is going to happen. Yes. This isn't going to be one of those Mayweather-Pacquiao that happens when they both on AARP. This ain't going to be that type fight. This is going to be two people in their prime going at it. But right now, all the back and forth, it just builds up more interest in the fight because now I want to see it even more. So whether they went on a 1 city, a 10 city, or different countries where you need a passport, I know however they do that.
I got a passport.
No, you don't. It's just building more interest for the fight. That's what I think.
Okay.
No, exactly right. I think that I think you hit it on the nail. I think maybe because even in England, I just did an interview for the UK on Thursday, and they are saying the same things that we're saying. They're feeling the same way we're feeling in terms of wanting this fight to happen now, wanting this now. And the fact that you got the entire UK bloggers and reporters and everything out there in the UK for the boxing world, this is the biggest fight that can be made in professional boxing right now. And I think that it was smart to, I mean, it wasn't smart, but to do an announcement, I think was necessary when you had the high profile fight between Triple G and Canelo. I think it was necessary. I think that it got us to the point where we're at right now, where we're really talking about it. Maybe we're talking about it through the lens of a little disappointment of seeing that it's not going to happen when we were told it was going to happen. But at the end of the day, like I said, man, we got people talking about it. I think that I agree with you, Shane. This is going to be a Hearns-Hagler fight, but it's not going to it's going to have the intensity of a Hagler and Hearns. It definitely is going to have the build-up. It's going to have the hype. It's going to have the dance partners. I mean, top to bottom is Hagler Hearns. I think the makeup of it is going to be a little different.
Okay.
Hagler had, I think he had respect for Hearns, but Hagler said, "I'm going to get you," from the opening bell. And that's why the fight ended up being the way that it was. Hearns had no back down. Hearns had no feeling of not yet. I think fighters now are much. I'm not saying that they weren't smart, but fighters are more are tactical in the sense that I'm gonna beat you the best way I can. And I don't think for either guy the best way to beat them, definitely round one, isn't coming right at you. You know, so I think we're gonna get a Hagler Hearns type of fight, but the makeup of it is not gonna be the exact same as Hagler and Hearns back in the day. I like what Roy said. When we had Roy on the show, he said he had mentioned his fight with James Toney. And I still haven't watched that fight yet, but I said I can see how this fight could be somewhat of a James Toney, Roy Jones Jr. type of fight, in the sense that both of these guys have the it of everything, and it's just about one fighter being a little bit better on that night, you know. And I think we know that Roy probably would have beat James Toney, you know, if they had fought multiple times. Roy was just that guy, especially at that point in time in the game. But both of these guys, I mean, it's 50-50. People hate hearing me say that, but it's 50-50.
Hey, Shawn, you know, I'm not going to ask you the whole fight. How you see the first 5 going? First 4?
I think the first.
You can go 3. You can go 3.
I think the first 2, if not 3, are going to be extremely tactical.
Okay.
They're going to be, the first 2 to 3 rounds are going to be very tit for tat, back and forth. 3 punches landed.
Okay.
4 punches landed, like total.
The whole fight?
After,
the first 3.
I think after the first 2 to 3 rounds, we're going to see where both guys are going to be able to find out where that fight needs to be won. And right around the 4th round is when we start to see Hagler Hearns.
We start turning it up. Okay.
Yeah, I think you're gonna get a lot of people who are upset in the beginning because
booze.
people paid to watch boxing and they're gonna actually watch the real sweet science that is boxing because boxing is actually a defense. Like you're not supposed to get hit. And when you find two great fighters who are able to do that until they figure it out, but then eventually, man, look, it's gonna go from boxing to a brawl to a slobber knocker.
Oh yeah,
it's going down.
Oh,
yeah.
You might have got the exclusive, but did they ever do that side bet that they was talking about? Because remember they had a side bet.
Yeah, years ago.
Errol and what's his name?
Years
They were betting
ago.
100,000.
We didn't go into that part
Because that could spice up a fight too. If we talking about money, if they got money on the table with their side bet of themselves, that could start
What was
something.
$1 million?
Yeah, well, because what's the name said? Earl said 100,000.
He said, make it $1 million.
Yeah, and then Terence said, make it $1 million.
Hey, no Crawford.
And then
Look at Shawn.
Bud confident, boy. Listen.
Oh yeah.
Even when we was playing German
German
chicken
Swiss.
fingers,
German
whatever the name of that game
German
was.
Swiss.
He, no matter what it is, he's confident about it. But let me ask you this. I know who Shawn got. Who you got winning the fight, Shane? Between the two of them.
Terence.
And who you got?
Ask Terence. Terence knows who's I got. Every time Terence see me, he said, motherfucker, I'm gonna fuck.
I have a question for you, Shawn. Who, in your opinion, is the meaner fighter? Like when it gets rough.
They're both mean.
Yeah.
When it has to go there.
I think Terence is naturally a meaner guy. It's just who Terence is. And I think Errol is a little bit more like me in the sense that I'll go there if I have to go there.
Okay.
And so I think that's how, kind of simply put, how you can put it. I think Terence is going to come to the ring mad. I knew that about him. And this is just one of the funniest, like just one of the things about this fight with him and I. I knew he was a mean guy, and I knew he had to get himself to a certain place in order to fight. Mm-hmm. And ignorance of myself, I didn't think he would do that against me. So I stopped hearing from him. And I thought that I wasn't hearing from him because he was mad that I was doing interviews saying I wanted to fight him. I was doing interviews saying, we need to get it on. He's got nobody. I was doing all this stuff, like practically calling him out without calling him out, without saying, yo, fight me. Why won't you fight me? Anything derogatory, anything like that. And I misunderstood it. What it actually was he's a mean dude. This is my friend. And in order for me to get in the ring with him, I have to be mean to him the way I'm mean to him. I fight. And so I remember I saw Bomac. I said, Bomac, what's up? He said, we did our pleasantries and all that. I said, yo, tell your boy to hit me back. I said, tell him I don't want to talk about the fight. I'm just checking up on him, saying what's up. Just tell him to hit me back. I ain't heard from him. Bomac said, yeah, I got you. I hit him up. He said, you know how he get. And again, ignorance of myself, I didn't catch on. We are at the press conference when we finally announced the fight. And he was really cordial. Everything was cool. We did the face off and all that, and we dapped up. And what I tried to do was lead the friendship right there in that moment. So we dapped up, said, next time I see you, it's on type stuff, what I mean? And he said, oh yeah, for sure. And I tried to lead the friendship on the stage right there and all that. And I did everything that I normally would, but I do believe that he came to the ring mean, ready to take me out, and everything that he needed to be. And I felt like there was a piece of me, not that I brought our friendship to the ring, but I do believe that I just didn't get as mean as I should have gotten against somebody like him. And that's something that a lot of people don't understand about Terence Crawford. It's one thing to get in the ring and just operate and box and do what you got to do, but at some point, you got to be mean. At some point, you're going to have to get down and dirty And the best part about it is Errol Spence ain't got no problem doing all of that and more. So it's gonna be a great fight.
I just want to give Bud some credit. When he came out to I'm Bad, that was tough.
Hey,
That was tough. Listen, I'm like, come on, you got this. But he came out there when he said, I'm bad. I said, oh, no, he didn't.
And Shawn know me. I don't care if he would have came out to Anthony Greatest Hits. I'm riding with my boy.
I was riding with him too, but like
I was booing him.
That song. Listen, I was riding with him too, but that song was tough.
Yeah.
We've had plenty of conversations about that song specifically.
Like you could have came out to anything, but you came out to I'm Bad. Like he really walked to the ring with bad intentions. Like there's no other way. Like if you played it right now, I want to fight.
And you know, Shawn, the way what you said is like my uncle played in the NFL and playing the sport. He would tell me, he's like, and when I get on the field, it's either you or me. He's like, I'll kill my brother if it came down to it. But that's how I am when I'm on the field. When I'm off the field, that's my brother. I love him to death. But when it comes down, when we step inside that circle, it's either me or you. Right. And that's how Bud thinks. And everybody don't think like that.
But see, so I never met Errol. Go ahead.
So to make Shane's question more interesting, it's not about who's meaner. It's actually because both guys are going to be mad. They're going to be mean. They're going to be everything you need to be. The interesting thing is the guy who can control their emotions, keep their cool, is the guy who's going to be able to operate round after round after round. And although I didn't see Terence get uncomfortable at any point in our fight, I know he's an emotional dude. He's a mean, mad dude all the time. You know?
And Errol's just another level of cool, Shawn. Errol Spence, he's just Mr. Cool.
And that's the thing. So I never met Errol, so I don't know how his natural person is. But Bud outside the ring is like, hey, we drinking water? I bet I drink it faster than you.
Yeah, like, hey, bro, relax.
My man don't
he's
play.
He's super competitive.
He's super competitive. But then also, Shawn, I want to ask you this. I think both of these two guys fought two different Shawn Porters. Because you've even gone on record and said, you know what, there's some things that I want to do differently when I went into that fight. But that Shawn Porter that Spence fought, I don't think that's the same Shawn Porter that Bud fought. Because, you know, you and Spence, y'all had a war yourself. And not that you didn't have a war with Bud, but it was just, I felt like it was two different fighters that they were going against. Both of them had the pressure, but that's tough to kind of figure that part of it out, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, and then you know, everybody's gonna come to me asking me who's this, who's that, who's gonna win, and the list goes on. And it's like I always talk about boxing being about moments, and that's what this fight is. This fight is gonna be who can create that opening, aka that moment, capitalize on that opening, aka that moment. Then on top of all that, get away with it. This is gonna be like we always talk about a guy going to the body is like putting money in the bank, and then the bank and then later rounds cashing out. When in the same sense with this fight's about stealing from the bank. Both these guys is so rich in every facet of boxing: speed, quickness, power, agility, experience, reflexes, conditioning, power. I mean, the whole list goes on. It's going to be about what can I take from you real quick and not let you get back. You know what I mean? So people, man, this is a fight you can't miss because it's going to get action-packed. And once it gets action-packed is when it's going to get even more interesting because it's going to become that I stole from you, and it's going to become that I got to get that back. And that's what's going to make it so great. Yeah, you heard that.
Go ahead.
So that's one of the reasons why I actually brought up the meaner, because I do agree with you. They're very equally matched. And when you think about meaner and you think about somebody that has something to prove, which I feel like Terence does, he feels like he has to prove because everybody thinks that Errol, like most people think that Errol's going to win. I think most people that I've interacted with think that he's going to win. And so he's probably thinking that he has something to prove in this. And so when you have that chip on your shoulder, when you have that like meanness, you're willing to take more risks. And I do think he's a very defensively responsible fighter, and I think that he's smart when he does get mean. He's very good in that confrontational mix up. Terence is
He's
really
smart
good
in the heat of battle.
Yeah, like he's really good at that mid range and fighting at that confrontational intensity. He does really well with that. So I think that's one of the reasons why I actually brought that up, because he's going to be willing to take more chances and be in that willing to take that mix. And that's where you win fights.
It's so interesting because while taking chances, you just got to get away with them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Both of these guys, counter punchers.
Yep.
Both of these guys can be first. You know, so I mean, just overall, it's such a great fight.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's a great fight. I think it's two big champ time guys going at it.
We
I think
definitely
we get it in January.
Okay.
Huh?
The reason why I agree with you on January, let me tell you why I agree on January, because there's like a one weekend in January that's perfect.
You've been doing your homework.
No, well, there's a weekend that you want to go. I'm just saying from my knowledge of sports, which is vast. You have in January, you have New Year's Day games for college football. Yep. That's going to be huge. You don't want it in February because everything in February is overshadowed by the Super Bowl. So it's like literally there's going to be that one weekend that you can slide in where people are already tuned into the TV, already got something going on. That will be a great weekend to have it. January-ish, around the 22nd. I have to look at some dates to be exact. I'm not putting the date out there. I'm just saying I agree with you when you're saying January is a great time because it's that perfect window right before other sports. Because you don't compete with the Super Bowl. Don't nobody compete with the Super Bowl. Don't do it. And you don't want to compete with the national championship in college football. Like, you don't want to compete with football, period. So it's a great time. The NBA is not really too going right that moment. You know, they're still playing 82 games. And so they like basketball, but that is a good sweet spot to get right in before the Super Bowl.
Appreciate you, man. You giving our people some confidence that it's going to come.
Oh, yeah, we definitely in the fight. It's like,
listen, Hudrico, we trust. Let's get it.
Hey, Shawn, there's another fight we kind of brought up right before the show. Rolly Romero, Adrien Broner.
Just real quick, I just want to make sure we cap this at right around the hour today.
Okay,
I didn't start a timer or anything.
But yeah,
Yep.
it's about that time. It's about that time. Rolly Romero. Yeah, we've been rolling for a minute.
Yeah, we've been rolling for
Yeah.
Well, let's get into.
All right, just real quick, Rolly Romero, Adrien Broner, then we'll get to Fundora. I'm there for that fight. I think the build up to that fight will be obviously Adrien Broner's dealing with other stuff outside the ring, but I'm there for that fight. The build up to that fight. You know what? Shout out to Rolly. Rolly kind of let us down. He's not the greatest talker that we thought he was gonna be. I think, but when he got in, Shawn shaking his head. But when he got in the ring, he actually performed against Tank and had some good rounds, and I had him ahead on the fight, but one mistake is all it took, and Tank put your lights out. Adrien Broner don't have that in him no more. I think Rolly Romero punishes Adrien Broner. And if Adrien Broner wants to stick in there for 12, stick in there for 12. You're going to get punished for 12. You got the younger, sharper guy, stronger guy, and Rolly, Rolly would just hit you with big shots all night. If you're just going to sit there and take them, he will literally have his right hand cocked and hit you with big shots all night. A lot of people tell me, well, if Adrien Broner shows up, the Adrien Broner shows up. That Adrien Broner's gone, man. He's never showing up.
Yes. Shout
out to Adrien Broner at 140. That's never coming back again.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like that's the Adrien Broner that we're going to get. And if we get that kind of, still Adrien Broner, I think that Rolly is probably too young and too strong.
I think Adrien Broner, like you said, he's a shell of who he once was. That guy who was when he had the shoulder roll back when he was doing that. And I think the problem is, listen, when you take a man's confidence, you take a lot from him. When he took some of them losses that he took, when he took some of them blows he took, he's never been able to bounce back to be that same fighter. He don't even fight the same style no more. Yeah. He switched everything up because somebody knocked his personality out of his body. And listen, I can get it, but this fight, Rolly wins easily. And I think Rolly actually puts him down.
Oh, hey, Carson, you hear that? Because I know you're watching. Carson going to light you up. Carson got your number?
No, I don't want
to. No, Carson thinks that Adrien Broner's going to win?
Carson is the biggest Adrien Broner fan you'll ever find.
Well, people do stupid things all the time. We can't blame him for that.
He got AB tattooed on his ass cheeks. He going to kill me. He going to kill me. He going to kill me.
What you think, Shawn?
I don't even think that's fight that AB would take.
Wow.
I'm curious to see if he would even take a fight against
if the money's right.
Rolly. I'm really curious as to what the money looks like.
Yeah.
The money that's right. What that truly looks like. I can't see him taking that fight. And if he were to take that fight, I think that it's just too much activity coming from Rolly Romero for AB to keep up with.
I mean, it comes a point in time either you're gonna have to start taking chances because right now who he's fighting, Shawn, it's like what are you doing? We literally get him in A-side fights where his opponent is a D-level fighter at best. Like, it's I don't even know what you do with Adrien Broner. That's tough. Shout out to Al Heyman. That's why you get paid the big bucks. Oh shoot, I'm supposed to say his name.
You don't speak of him.
Yeah. Let's get to Sebastian Formella versus Ocampo.
Fundora. See, if you had a passport and you went over the countries, you would know that.
No. Oh, why is his name so fresh in my mind like that? I can't.
Because it's Sebastian and 2 F's at the end. I'll do the same thing.
Oh, you done it too? Okay. All right. I messed that up. Fundora. Yeah. Sebastian Fundora. Is Ocampo?
Yeah.
Ocampo.
My man, 1L lost to Errol Spence Jr., right? At 147?
In 2018, that's when he took that L to him.
Okay. I see you working.
2018, he took that. Listen, he gonna do it. You got to do it right.
He got knocked out?
Early. Got knocked out early. But, you talked about the body shot, putting money in the bank. I think Errol robbed the bank in the same round. He didn't have to wait till later. Down goes Frazier. But here's the problem, right? This is the biggest problem I have with this fight. Fundora.
He tall.
Listen, have you ever seen him at a press conference or a post game? I mean, he wears like the lacrosse shirt, the khaki pants.
He like Superman.
He got like no swag, and he be whooping people. That's like getting robbed in a good neighborhood. It's just not supposed to happen.
Some people say Shawn Porter don't have no swag and he whoop people.
He got his own swag.
I mean,
he got his own way he do
I
things.
said it. I'm just saying people say it.
But what I'm saying is like this big, tall, lanky kid that you look at him like, there's no way I'm about to get beat by. You remember the movie, what's the name? Space Jam, the first one when Sean Bradley was. Yeah. It's like fighting that one that got the super tall monster, and he just whooped people. Yeah. His arms are long. I don't think this is going to be a fair fight because as much as I keep doubting this tall kid, this kid keeps proving me wrong, and he does it with no swag. Like, if you're going to beat me,
why you keep bringing up the swag part?
Because that's important. That's like a football player who don't wear no wristbands. You don't think he's going to play good?
He's going to Clark Kent.
But then he play good.
He's Clark Kent.
He Clark Kent.
But look, even Clark Kent goes Superman. This kid don't ever change. Even in the ring, he's like, the tower. And just, hey,
the tower. What the hell was that?
That's what he do. The Inferno and Tower guy, whatever. Like I said, Fundora wins this fight. Campo has a great record, 34 wins, one loss, and his only loss. You cannot fault anybody that's lost to Errol Spence. And I think he still knocked out 22 other people. So the knockout power is there. The fights are there. The experience is there. He has over half the fights, over 50% of the fights that Fundora's had. So it's still going to be a good fight, but 6'5", stay alive. Boy, 6'5"? And he's 6'5", and he's 140 pounds as a grown man. That's another problem. We're not going to get
154 pounds.
Listen, he's skinny.
Yeah. When the last time y'all was 154? Shawn? Hudrico, when the last time you was 154?
I think it was
I'm going to go first grade.
I was probably like 6th grade, and then I went to sleep and woke up at 200.
Okay, yeah, I'm about
154.
Yeah, I'm in 154 in what?
High school.
All right, Shawn Porter been 154 last week. Shawn's 154. Shawn's 154 right now. Sebastian Formella. Tall guy,
Fundora, man.
You gonna get it right.
Hey, Formella, you need to retire or something, because I need you to get out my brain. I don't even know why you up there. Sebastian Fundora. The big tall ranger. Hey, what's his name? Don't they call him something?
The Tower Inferno, the Flame, something like that. No, not the twin.
I caught myself.
The Towering Inferno, ain't it?
Tower Inferno.
Yeah, something like that. Listen, he doing something with him. He doing something right.
But yeah, no, I had a great Shawn, we're going to do our fights of the year, fighters of the year. I'm telling you right now, fight of the year, Fundora-Lubin. That was a fight of the year. Fight. Hell of a war. Matter of fact, Shawn was in the building, him and Carson. Shout out to Carson.
Lubin was looking like this after the fight. Lubin was like.
About that. But you're right. That should be in the fight of the year candidate for sure.
Yeah, and I just think obviously his last opponent, Lubin, was levels above this guy, and Fundora should go from Fundora. Am I right?
Fundora.
All right, yeah. I'm messing him up for real. He should go up there and take care of business and possibly. That's crazy. Possibly, when are we gonna get Sebastian Charlo? We get it in 2023. Shawn Porter, if anybody know, you the inside man. We never gonna get it. Never gonna get it. Never gonna get it.
Never gonna get it.
Never gonna get it.
Never gonna get it.
Who else at 154 we want to see?
You think Charlo is going up to 60?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
I said that like I
and then the other Charlo is gonna go up to 68.
I don't know how the other Charlo feels at 160. They did it once before where they both were champions at 154. Yeah. I could see them doing that again, both being champions at 160. I think that it probably in the next year is when Charlo will do that. He's pretty much run through the 154-pound weight class. He's undisputed at 154, and he's kind of reaching that point of what else can I do at 54? Would I like to see Garcia versus Charlo? Not really, but I think that fight makes sense more so for Charlo because it's a former 2-division world champion, and then obviously for Danny Garcia it makes sense because he wants the belt at 54. Or obviously with Charlo he gets them all. So I think that fight makes sense for both guys. Outside of that, I see Charlo moving up relatively soon, and then Fundora kind of being the guy that replaces that wins vacant belts and things of that nature.
So you think
154 pounds.
Fundora gets it done this weekend?
I was gonna say I think that Ocampo, you look at 34-1, and I think that for Fundora, that is the point for him to have somebody on his resume, not his record, but a resume qualifying who he is, and someone who has a 34-1 record certainly does that no matter who that guy has that 34, and obviously we know what the 1 is against. So, I think that's what we're looking at next week. I think we're looking at a dominating performance from Fundora right there at the War Grounds.
Yeah.
And I know Antt and I talked just yesterday about possibly being there for that. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. So, he gets this done. Tim Tszyu, Brian Castano, somebody at 154. If we, I want the Charlo, but just if that don't happen, what do you see next?
Yeah, we don't get Charlo.
Okay.
I do. I like to see him get in the ring with Tszyu. I'm curious to see what Danny Garcia could do with Fundora.
I don't want Danny to fight that dude.
I know that Danny is just fighting just to fight. He's fighting for belts and he's fighting for big money, and you don't get either against Fundora. But I was excited to see Danny move up to 154, and obviously was really excited to see how he performed against Jose Benavidez. So I like to see what he could do against the big guys out there, and obviously outside of Charlo, I think it's Fundora's the next big thing at 54.
All right, so I think that kind of anything else you want to touch on, Shawn?
I definitely want to get our shout outs in real quick. Patreon.com/TPWP. Please subscribe to our Patreon. We have not gotten going with that just yet. We're waiting on our studio to be built out, and we are about 2 weeks out from it being completely finished. It's going to be beautiful, and we definitely want everybody to tune in and enjoy what we bring into the Patreon portion of this podcast. Also, Rival Boxing. Go to the website and you use our promo code TPWP15. You get 15% off your purchase. There are a few items on there that are exempt from our promo code, but for the most part, anything you want over there, they got great equipment. And I'll go on record for saying this, and I know I've said this on interviews way back in the day. They have some of the best bag gloves that I've ever worn before. So Maybe I'll turn around. I'll write it down, and next week I'll let y'all know exactly what pair of gloves that is, and you guys can go on the website and get 15% off. Outside of that, we'll end with this. You know, I like to do my motivational thing at the end.
Hey, we got a motivational guy here.
I know we do.
Okay.
So we're gonna go ahead and put him on the spot. You got something for us, big dog?
Shawn, before we hit that, we'll be in New York next week. What's from the 12th to the 16th, Shawn?
No. We 2 weeks away from that, bro. We can do that next week.
All right, go ahead. Motivational guy, just do your thing.
Listen, man, first off, shout out to everybody who tuned in today, man. Motivational. Listen, we all worry about what other people think, but let me tell you something. When you're at the bottom, they ignore you. When you're in the middle, they overlook you. And when you're on the top, they going to hate you. So why are you so worried about what everybody else thinks when you have to care for yourself? You are your most valuable asset. You have to believe in you, because if you don't, nobody else will, man. Hudrico live out.
I dig it.
And if you
got something to Antt?
Nah, I mean, he pretty much said it all. I mean, if you want that, you can get that every week on, what you do, well, once a weekly?
Listen, man, we do motivations daily? On the IG 3 times a week on at Hudrico Live on Instagram, man, the YouTube, and all the other good stuff, man. Listen, at Hudrico Live give you everything you need, man. Everything you need from me to help you get to where you need to. If you need to speak, you need all that other good stuff, I got you, man. But I want a big shout out to you and the PorterWay Pod, just for y'all letting me have an opportunity to come on. My man Shane down in the corner, man, you know that's my vibe, man. Been a great time. And Antt, to you, man, listen, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Get you a passport so we can take you somewhere.
Oh, man, this dude. Yeah, I got a passport. But, yeah, I just want to tell people, like, don't be scared of taking a chance. You know, I worked for a company for 10 years, and I wouldn't say you're stuck in a wheel just going around in circles. But once you master something, don't be scared to take a chance of doing your own thing. I started my own company, and I've made more in the last 2 months than I made 6 months working for a company. So life is about chances. Sometimes you just got to go for it, man. Just go head first. And sometimes I know it's the toughest part is just taking that chance. But you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So sometimes just take it. Just go, man.
Take that shot.
Huh? Yeah, take that shot, man.
Yeah, shoot your shot, man.
Yeah. You got anything?
What's that?
You got anything?
I guess I could say on the same kind of token, always set goals. I think when you have goals, it really puts life into perspective. And when you look at your goals, you don't look at I'm not feeling good or all these things. It's just like I'm hitting this goal no matter what, right? And that's the way you should look at life. It shouldn't be about how you feel, if you feel good, if you feel bad, if this person says something bad about me or whatever the case is. It doesn't really matter because I'm trying to hit my goal, right? So the more you set goals, the more you have a vision, it's easier to push away everything that doesn't matter. So be sure to set goals. Be sure to always be striving for something, and that will separate and push everything else, all the nonsense out.
Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Last thing for me, I'm going to tell a quick story, then we're going to get up out of here. My son had a Western day at school on Friday. And about 2 weeks ago, he said he wanted to be a bull for Halloween or for Western Day. And so I got online on Amazon, and I thought I pushed the button to order the suit that he wanted. And I looked up on Thursday, and it showed me that was not being delivered, and I quickly said to myself, I cannot let my son down. He was super excited, and I refused to let my son down. I went to about 4, if not 5, Halloween stores, couldn't find what I wanted. The last store I went into, the guy took me into the back. He said, well, we got this. Why don't you try to put some things together? He got my mind jogging. I put some things together for my son. Laid it all out on the table, and we're headed home. I said, I got something for you. He says, my suit. I said, I got something for you. He comes in the house. I show him everything that I got him, and he was excited about it. Woke up on Friday, and he didn't want to wear the bodysuit portion of the bull costume that I had kind of bought and put together for him. So I don't want to wear that. I just want to wear the hooves that I had bought. He wanted to wear the horns that I had bought. He wanted to wear this animal snout that I had bought, and he wanted to be a bull. I said, Diggy, why do you want to be a bull? Everybody else is being cowboys. He said, everybody is going to be a cowboy. I'm going to be a bull, and everybody's going to wrangle me. I mean, my son is just the stuff, So we sent him to school. The teacher didn't really respond to the costume the way we had anticipated. She's like, "You really gonna wear this?" And Diggy's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Yeah." Gets out of the car, goes into school. My wife is extremely worried about him. I, of course, was worried as well because it wasn't what we envisioned, what we wanted for him, and all the while he's super excited. I said, you know what? I'm not gonna worry about this because I can't control what's gonna happen. Why would I go through the rest of my day worrying about if my son's having fun or not, if his costume is being receptive, or the kids are receptive to my son's costume and all that? I said, you know what? And this is the decision that I made for myself. I said, I'm gonna give it to noon. If I don't get a call that my son is at the school crying and wants to get picked up, I'm letting it go. So I let it go, and I just hoped he had a good day. Went to school, picked him up. As I'm picking him up, he's walking out, and the teacher is a different teacher that picked him out of the car. She said he had the best costume of the day. He never got out of character. He had so much fun. And my best of his costume, and he had the day of his life. And it was something that he was excited for about 2 weeks. He was excited for about a month. But my whole point of that story is my son was extremely confident to be the Porter way. The Porter way is doing things that aren't normal, doing things that set yourself apart, and doing things that are excellent and great in every moment and opportunity that you have. And my son took an opportunity. He was very confident in that opportunity. And even when I didn't and wasn't confident, my son still was. And so when I picked him up from school and saw how great of a day he had, I let it all go. I said, my son had a great day. I don't give a damn about that costume anymore. He had a great day, So I just want everybody to understand life gives you opportunities. Be confident in those opportunities. Make the best of those opportunities, and you too will have great days. This is the Porter Way.